Snow covered the forest like a heavy blanket. Trees stood tall and quiet, their branches frozen in strange shapes. The sky was gray, and the wind moved slowly through the mountains. Everything looked still, but danger often hid inside silence. A park ranger named Adam walked carefully through the deep snow. He had worked in this park for many years. He knew how beautiful the land could be, but he also knew how cruel it became during winter. People often believed nature was gentle. Adam knew better. His boots sank into the snow with every step. Each sound felt loud in the quiet forest. Adam checked his map and then looked around. This area was closed during winter. No visitors were allowed here. Storms came fast, and rescue was difficult. Rules existed to protect lives. Adam was doing a routine patrol. He did not expect to find anything unusual. Most days were the same. Walk the trail. Check signs. Watch for danger. Return before dark. But today felt different. The forest was too silent. No birds. No movement. Even the wind felt careful. Adam stopped walking. Something dark caught his eye near a group of pine trees. It looked strange against the white snow. At first, he thought it was a fallen branch. Then he noticed the shape was smooth and round. He moved closer. His heart began to beat faster. It was a tent. Most of it was buried under thick snow. Only part of the top was visible. Ice had formed along the fabric. The tent looked old and weak, like it had been fighting the weather for days. Adam stared at it in disbelief. Camping here in winter was strictly forbidden. Anyone caught doing this would face serious punishment. More importantly, no one survived long in these conditions without proper gear. Adam looked around carefully. There were no footprints. That meant the tent had been here for a long time. Snowstorms had erased all signs of movement. The silence felt heavier now. Adam felt a tight pain in his chest. This was not just a broken rule. This was a possible emergency. He reached down and brushed snow away from the tent. His gloves were already cold and stiff. The fabric was torn on one side, frozen hard. Wind had pushed snow inside through the tear. Adam called out loudly, "Hello, is anyone here?" The forest did not answer. He tried his radio. Only static replied. Mountains often blocked signals, especially during storms. Adam knew the rules clearly. He should mark the location. He should return to the station. He should come back with a rescue team. But something inside him said waiting was dangerous. If someone was inside the tent, they might not survive another night. Adam knelt down and slowly opened the frozen zipper. Cold air rushed out, carrying a sharp smell of damp cloth and metal. The inside was dark and cramped. Adam leaned closer. Inside the tent were blankets, dirty and stiff from ice. A backpack lay open near the entrance. Food wrappers were scattered across the floor. Most of them were empty. Then he saw movement. Something shifted under the blankets. Adam froze. His heart pounded hard. He spoke softly. "Hello. I am a park ranger. I am here to help." The blankets moved again. A small face appeared. It was a boy. The child looked weak and thin. His skin was pale, and his lips were blue from the cold. His eyes were wide with fear. He could not be more than 10 years old. Adam felt shock rush through his body. Children were never alone in this area. Families did not come here in winter. Something was very wrong. Adam moved slowly so he would not scare the boy. "My name is Adam," he said gently. "You are safe now." The boy stared at him. His hands shook badly. "Where are your parents?" Adam asked. The boy did not answer right away. He pulled the blanket closer around his shoulders. "They said they would come back," the boy whispered. Adam felt a deep cold that had nothing to do with the weather. "Who said that?" Adam asked. The boy looked down. "My sister," he said quietly. Adam swallowed hard. A missing sister meant something terrible might have happened. A child alone in a frozen tent meant danger beyond broken rules. Adam noticed the boy's clothes were too thin. His shoes were wet. His breathing was shallow. The boy was close to freezing. Adam knew what he had to do. He took off his own jacket and wrapped it carefully around the boy. The boy did not resist. He looked tired, like he had no strength left. "Can you stand?" Adam asked. The boy nodded slowly. Adam lifted him gently and helped him out of the tent. Cold air hit the child immediately. Adam held him close to block the wind. Adam looked back at the tent. Something felt wrong. If the boy was here alone, where was the sister? Why had she left him? Why bring a child to such a dangerous place? Adam knew he was breaking rules now. He should not move the boy without calling for help. He should not leave the area without marking it properly. But rules did not matter anymore. A child's life mattered more. Adam began walking back toward the ranger path, carrying the boy carefully. The snow was deep, and every step was slow. The sky was growing darker. The boy leaned his head against Adam's chest. "Please do not leave me," the boy said softly. Adam tightened his grip. "I will not," he replied. "I promise." As they moved through the forest, Adam could not stop thinking. Who was the sister? Why was the tent buried? And what else might be hidden under the snow? Adam's boots sank deep into the snow with each careful step. The boy, whose name he had not yet learned, shivered in the thin jacket Adam had wrapped around him. Every sound of cracking ice or falling snow felt louder in the forest. Adam's eyes scanned the white landscape. He needed to find shelter and warmth quickly. The trail back to the ranger station was difficult to see. Snow had covered the markers, and wind had filled the tracks. Adam thought of calling for backup again, but the radio was still silent. The storm was growing stronger. He had to make a decision fast. "We have to keep moving," Adam said softly. "Can you walk a little more on your own?" The boy nodded. His face was pale, and his lips were still blue. Adam realized how dangerous this situation was. If the child stayed outside too long, he could develop frostbite or worse. The boy's small feet were wet. Adam wondered how long he had been in the tent alone. As they walked, Adam noticed strange signs around them. Broken branches, deep depressions in the snow, and footprints that seemed to vanish suddenly. Someone else had been here recently. Someone had left quickly, but where and why remained a mystery. Adam kept his voice calm. "Do you remember where you last saw your sister?" he asked. The boy shook his head. "I don't know. She told me to wait, and I waited, but then it got cold, and I fell asleep." Adam felt his chest tighten. Children in the forest at this time of year were never supposed to be left alone. The boy's sister had risked everything by bringing him here. But why? What had she been thinking? The wind picked up. Snow swirled around them, making it hard to see more than a few meters ahead. Adam adjusted the boy's jacket, holding him closer. "Almost there," he said. "Just a little further." The forest seemed endless, and the snow deeper with every step. Adam began to worry. If the storm worsened, even he might not make it back safely. He glanced down at the boy, whose eyes were half closed from cold and exhaustion. Adam realized he had to act fast or risk losing the child. Suddenly, a distant sound broke the silence. It was faint, but it caught Adam's attention. It sounded like shouting. Someone calling for help? Or another lost person in the storm? Adam stopped and listened carefully. The wind made it difficult to be sure, but the sound repeated. "Did you hear that?" Adam asked the boy. The boy shook his head. "I don't hear anything," he whispered. Adam scanned the snow-covered forest. He could see no movement. Whoever was calling was far away, or maybe the sound had come from the wind itself. He debated whether to leave the boy for a moment to check, but the boy's weak condition made that impossible. Adam continued walking, moving slowly and carefully. He held the boy tightly. Every few minutes, he stopped to check the boy's fingers and toes. They were still cold, but he was alive. That was what mattered. After some time, Adam spotted something familiar. A group of rocks forming a small natural shelter. Not perfect, but better than nothing. He carefully moved toward it and set the boy down. "Stay here," Adam said. "I will find something we can use to make a fire." The boy nodded weakly, still shivering. Adam collected dry branches and small pieces of bark, grateful to find them under the snow. He worked quickly, knowing that even a small fire could save the boy from freezing. Using a lighter, Adam started the fire. Smoke rose into the sky. The flames were small, but warm. The boy's eyes widened as warmth reached him. Adam helped him sit closer to the fire, wrapping more blankets around him. "You are safe now," Adam said. "We will get you out of here." The boy nodded silently. He looked tired, but something in his eyes suggested relief. Adam wondered what had happened to his sister. Why had she left him in the forest? Had she been trying to protect him? Or had she also gotten lost? Adam stayed by the fire, watching the boy carefully. He knew that children could not survive long in extreme cold without proper clothing and shelter. He had to keep him warm and calm until they could reach the ranger station. After some time, the boy whispered, "Do you think she is okay?" Adam's heart ached. "I don't know," he admitted. "But we will find her. We will not stop until we do." The boy nodded, closing his eyes for a moment. Adam felt a surge of determination. He had faced dangerous situations before, but nothing like this. The life of a child depended on his choices. The rules no longer mattered. He checked his watch. Evening was approaching, and darkness would come soon. The forest would become even more dangerous in the storm. He had to move quickly, but carefully. "Can you walk again?" Adam asked. The boy nodded slowly. Adam lifted him carefully. They started moving again, following what he thought was the trail back to the station. The snow was now past Adam's knees in places. Each step required strength and focus. The wind cut at their faces, but Adam held the boy close. After a while, Adam noticed another set of footprints in the snow. They were small, like a child's, but older. The footprints led away from the main path and seemed to vanish into a cluster of trees. Adam stopped and studied them. "These might be hers," he said to himself. "This might be the trail your sister left." The boy looked at him with wide eyes. "Do you think we can find her?" Adam nodded. "We will try," he said. "We will not leave her behind." He followed the footprints carefully, moving slowly through the snow. The boy clung to his arm, leaning on him for support. Adam realized that the storm was hiding everything. The footprints could vanish under a fresh layer of snow at any moment. Suddenly, Adam heard another sound. It was faint but different from the wind. A soft cry, almost human. He stopped, listening. The boy's eyes widened. "That sounds like her," he whispered. Adam nodded, moving toward the sound. He had to be careful. Snow-covered rocks and fallen branches could make him slip. But he could not waste time. As they moved, the crying grew louder. Adam's heart raced. The sound was desperate, fearful, and urgent. Whoever was calling needed help. Adam felt a mix of relief and worry. Relief that he had found the right trail, worry about what he might find. Finally, they reached a small clearing. Adam saw a shape huddled under a tree. A young girl, maybe 12 years old, was wrapped in a thin blanket. She was shivering and looked scared. Her eyes lit up when she saw them. "Adam!" the boy shouted. The girl's face filled with tears. She tried to stand, but the cold had weakened her. Adam reached out and lifted her carefully. "You are safe now," he said. "We are together. Everything will be fine." The girl clung to her brother, hugging him tightly. Adam watched them, feeling relief and determination at the same time. The storm was still coming, but at least now they were together. Adam knew the journey was not over. They still had to reach the ranger station safely. But for now, the children were alive, and that was what mattered most. He adjusted their blankets and started moving again. The forest was harsh, but Adam's resolve was stronger. He had found them, and he would not let anything stop him. The fire, the warmth, and the reunion gave a small moment of hope. In the cold, white forest, Adam carried the children forward, knowing that survival depended on courage, care, and never giving up. Adam held the children close as he moved through the forest. The snow had turned the world into a silent white sea. Every step was heavy, and the wind cut sharply across their faces. Adam could feel the weight of responsibility pressing down on him. He was not just a ranger anymore. He was their protector, their guide, and their hope of survival. The boy and his sister, whose name was Maya, stayed quiet for the most part. Their eyes followed Adam carefully. They clung to him, trusting him completely. Adam felt their fear and exhaustion. They had spent hours in the freezing forest, lost and alone. The storm was growing stronger, and nightfall was approaching fast. Adam knew they could not stop for long. The small fire they had made earlier had vanished under falling snow. There was no way to start another fire in the deep storm without risking the children getting colder. He had to keep moving until they reached the ranger station. "Do you two know the way back?" Adam asked gently. Maya shook her head. Her hair was damp from melting snow. "I thought I could find the path, but everything looks the same," she said softly. The boy nodded in agreement. "I just waited in the tent," he added. "I don't know anything else." Adam sighed. He had suspected as much. Winter trails were confusing even for adults, and the forest changed after a snowfall. The children could not rely on memory or sight. They had to rely on him. He looked around for any markers that could help guide them. The trees were tall and white, the branches heavy with ice. Adam spotted a small rock formation that he recognized from his map. It was a natural landmark that could help him navigate. "This way," he said, pointing. "Follow me carefully." The children moved closer to him, holding his hands. Each step was slow and difficult. The snow was deep and cold, making their progress tiring. Adam felt the chill biting through his gloves and jacket. He had to stay alert, but he also had to protect them from falling behind. After walking for some time, Adam noticed another danger. A small hill was covered with fresh snow, hiding the rocks underneath. One wrong step could cause a fall and serious injury. He guided the children carefully around the hill, explaining where to step and where to hold. "Almost there," Adam said, though he knew it was not true. The ranger station was still far, but giving hope was important. The children needed encouragement to keep moving. As they walked, Maya finally spoke. "Adam," she said quietly, "I left the tent because I wanted to get help. I didn't know it would be so cold. I am sorry." Adam stopped and looked at her. "You were trying to protect your brother," he said firmly. "You did not know it would be so dangerous. It is not your fault. The important thing is that you are both alive now." Maya's eyes filled with tears. She nodded silently, hugging her brother tightly. The boy whispered something softly, and Adam could see Maya nodding again. They had found comfort in each other, even in this terrible storm. Adam took a deep breath. He knew the ranger station was still several kilometers away. He estimated it would take at least 2 more hours through this weather. The storm was relentless, and the temperature kept dropping. He had to make sure they stayed strong and calm. "Look at me," Adam said, kneeling down so they could see him. "We are going to make it. We will stay together. We are careful, and we watch for danger. You trust me, right?" Both children nodded. Adam could feel their small hands trembling in his gloves. He knew that trust was fragile in fear, but he had earned it with care and calmness. They continued moving. Adam led them through narrow paths between trees, avoiding deep snow drifts. He lifted the children over obstacles, one at a time, when necessary. Sweat ran down his face under the cold wind, but he did not stop. Every decision mattered. One wrong step could mean disaster. After a while, Adam heard a sound that made him pause. It was faint, but it was there. A distant bark, or maybe a shout. He could not be sure. He stopped and listened. The children looked at him with wide eyes. "Did you hear that?" Adam whispered. Maya shook her head. The boy pressed closer to Adam, shivering. Adam studied the direction of the sound. It was coming from a lower area of the forest, a slope that led down to a small valley. He had to decide whether to investigate or continue to the station. Risking the children's safety was not an option. He chose to stay on the main path. Whoever or whatever had made the noise would have to wait. The snow kept falling harder, covering the path quickly. Adam used his map and compass, checking their direction constantly. The forest looked endless, but he knew that landmarks could guide them. He pointed out familiar shapes to the children, explaining what they were seeing. It gave them hope and helped them focus on the journey instead of fear. Hours passed. The storm had not weakened. The children were tired, but Adam encouraged them to keep moving. He sang softly to distract them from the cold. The boy hummed along quietly, and Maya whispered the words back after him. Small moments of warmth in the storm helped them survive. Finally, Adam spotted something in the distance. A small building, dark against the white snow. The ranger station. Relief washed over him. He picked up the pace, careful not to slip on the icy ground. The children saw it too. Their eyes widened, and they ran slightly ahead, slipping occasionally in the deep snow. Adam caught them before they fell, laughing softly despite the cold. They reached the station. Adam opened the door and helped the children inside. Warm air hit them immediately. The children gasped and hugged themselves. Adam led them to a small heater and wrapped more blankets around them. "Stay here," Adam said. "I will get hot drinks and check for supplies. You are safe now." Maya looked at her brother and whispered, "We are alive because of Adam." The boy nodded silently. Adam smiled. They had survived the storm together. For now, at least, the danger was over. Adam checked the radio again. The signal had returned. He called for backup. Rangers would arrive soon to help them. He explained the situation. The team would arrive within the hour. While waiting, Adam sat with the children, giving them warm drinks. He asked gently about their journey, about the tent, and about the sister who had left them. Maya explained that she had been trying to find a safe place for her brother when the storm arrived. She did not realize how fast the weather would change. Adam listened carefully, understanding the courage it took for a child to protect a sibling. Despite the danger, Maya's care had kept the boy alive until he found help. He looked out the window at the forest. The storm was still strong. Snow covered the trees, the hills, and the trails. He knew it would take hours to search for anyone else who might be lost. He also knew that he had made the right choice by acting immediately, ignoring the rules that could have delayed help. The children sipped their drinks quietly. Their faces were tired, but calmer. Adam watched them and felt hope. They were alive, together, and safe for now. The ranger station would provide warmth, food, and help. But Adam knew this was only the beginning. The forest was still dangerous, and the storm would continue. He would need to guide the children through the next hours and ensure their safety until they could reunite with family. Adam felt determination rising in him. He had faced storms, lost paths, and dangers before. But nothing compared to carrying the trust of two children through a frozen forest. He would not fail them. The storm raged outside, but inside the small ranger station, there was warmth, hope, and relief. Adam watched the children sleep briefly in the blankets, and for the first time that day, he allowed himself to rest. The forest could wait. Tonight, they had survived. And Adam knew that as long as he stayed careful, as long as he stayed calm, he could keep them alive. The storm outside continued without pause. Snow hit the windows of the ranger station with a soft but heavy rhythm. Inside, the room was warm, but Adam could not relax completely. He watched Maya and her brother sitting quietly under blankets. The fire crackled in the heater, and the room smelled of warmth and pine, but danger still lingered outside. Adam knew they were safe for now, but he could not ignore the forest. People got lost every year during storms like this. Trees could hide dangers, and snow could cover paths in minutes. He had to plan carefully. He needed to make sure the children stayed safe until morning. He poured 2 cups of hot cocoa and handed them to Maya and her brother. The warmth of the drink made them relax slightly. They sipped quietly, their hands wrapped around the warm cups. Adam smiled softly. Sometimes small comforts mattered most in survival. "Can you tell me exactly what happened at the tent?" Adam asked gently. Maya looked down, her hair damp from snow melting on her coat. "I thought I could help my brother," she said quietly. "I tried to carry him to another path. The snow was heavy. Then I got lost. I left him in the tent because I thought it would be safer for him. I did not know how cold it would get. I was scared." Adam listened carefully. He could feel the weight of responsibility she had carried. Children rarely had to make life and death decisions. Maya's courage had kept her brother alive, even if she had gotten lost herself. The boy looked up and whispered, "She saved me, Adam. I just waited like she said." Adam nodded. "Yes, she did. And now we are together, so that is what matters." He glanced at the window. The storm had not slowed. Visibility was almost zero outside. Roads and trails were completely covered in snow. Rescue teams would have difficulty reaching them until morning. Adam had to act carefully. He decided to wait for the storm to weaken slightly before attempting to leave. Adam thought about the tent buried in snow. Something about it had felt strange. Most campers would leave footprints, but there were none visible. That meant someone had been very careful. Adam wondered if anyone else might be in danger nearby. He could not ignore the possibility. He decided to check the surrounding area once the storm slowed. It was risky, but he had no choice. Children depended on him. Safety rules were important, but living children were more important than regulations. Hours passed slowly. Maya and her brother played quietly with small toys Adam had found in the ranger station. Adam kept checking the windows and the radio. Static continued, but he remained calm. He could not show fear to the children. They needed stability and trust. Finally, the storm lightened slightly. Snow still fell, but the wind was weaker. Adam decided it was time to move. He packed a small bag with extra blankets, food, water, and a first aid kit. He wrapped the children in warm layers. They looked at him nervously but trusted him completely. "Stay close to me," Adam said. "We are going to check near the tent. I need to make sure no one else is in danger. We will be careful, I promise." The children nodded. Adam led them carefully into the forest. The snow was still deep, but the wind no longer cut sharply across their faces. The trek was slow, but manageable. Every step required focus. Adam checked for signs of broken branches, hidden ice, and holes under the snow. As they neared the tent, Adam noticed that more snow had fallen overnight. The top of the tent was barely visible. He brushed snow away with gloved hands. The fabric was torn and frozen, just as he remembered. Footprints around the tent were covered with fresh snow, but he could see faint impressions near the entrance. Adam knelt beside the tent. "This is where your brother stayed," he said to Maya. "You did the right thing by trying to help him. He is safe now." Maya nodded, looking down at the tent. She shivered slightly, but Adam could tell it was not from cold. She felt the weight of the night's events. Adam listened carefully. The forest was quiet, but he felt movement. Something shifted under a nearby tree. He held up a hand, signaling the children to stay back. Adam approached slowly. To his surprise, a small animal emerged. It was a fox, its fur covered in snow. The animal stared at Adam for a moment, then ran into the forest. Adam relaxed. It was just the forest life returning after the storm. Adam turned back to the children. Nature is full of surprises, he said softly. Sometimes they are small, and sometimes they are big. We need to be ready for both. He looked around carefully. The area near the tent was safe. No other people or dangers were visible. Adam decided it was time to head back to the ranger station. They had survived the night, but daylight and warmth were necessary for real safety. The children followed closely, leaning on Adam when the snow became too deep. He guided them carefully, pointing out trees, rocks, and other markers along the trail. He explained how to stay safe in snow and how to watch for hidden dangers. The children listened attentively, their fear slowly replaced by learning and curiosity. The journey back took time. Every few steps, Adam stopped to check their condition. Their hands were cold, but improving. Their faces were pale, but they were smiling quietly. Adam felt a deep sense of relief. He had survived dangerous forests and storms before, but never with children so small depending entirely on him. Finally, the ranger station appeared in the distance. Adam increased his pace slightly, careful not to slip. The children followed, exhausted but relieved. Warm air and safety awaited them. As they entered the station, Adam felt the weight of the past hours lift slightly. The children were safe, and the storm had passed enough to allow proper help to arrive. Adam gave them warm blankets and hot drinks again. He checked their fingers and toes. No frostbite, only exhaustion. Adam sat with them, letting them rest. He thought about the tent, the night, and the courage of the children. Maya had acted bravely despite fear. The boy had waited as she had instructed. Their survival depended on small acts of trust, careful decisions, and hope. Adam looked out the window. The forest was still white, silent, and cold. But there was light now. The morning sun struggled through the clouds, casting faint shadows on the snow. Daylight meant more help could arrive soon. It meant the danger of the night had passed. He checked the radio. The static had cleared. Backup rangers were on their way. They would help bring the children home safely. Adam felt a small smile. For the first time in hours, he allowed himself to feel relief. He sat quietly, watching the children sleep briefly under blankets. Their breathing was steady. Their fear was gone for now. Adam knew they had survived the worst of the storm, but the memory of the frozen forest and the buried tent would stay with them. Adam thought about the importance of courage, trust, and care. Survival was not just about rules. It was about understanding danger, making decisions quickly, and protecting those who depended on you. The forest outside was harsh and endless. But inside the ranger station, there was warmth, hope, and safety. Adam had kept the children alive, guided them through the snow, and shown them that courage could overcome fear. He leaned back, letting a moment of calm wash over him. The storm had tested them, but they had endured. Adam knew more challenges could come. The forest was unpredictable. But for now, they were alive, together, and safe. Adam promised himself he would not rest fully until the children were reunited with their family. That would be the real end of this story. The morning sun slowly rose over the snow-covered forest. Its light made the world look soft and peaceful, but Adam knew that the forest could still be dangerous. He checked the children carefully. Maya and her brother were asleep under warm blankets, their faces calm for the first time since the storm began. The radio crackled to life. Backup rangers were finally on their way. They would help secure the area, search for anyone else who might be in danger, and guide the children home. Adam felt a sense of relief, but he also knew that his job was not over. He had to stay with the children until their family arrived. Adam poured 2 cups of warm cocoa and handed them to the children. They sipped slowly, enjoying the warmth spreading through their bodies. Their eyes were brighter now, and for the first time, they smiled. "You both were very brave," Adam said gently. "You helped each other survive, and now you are safe." Maya looked up at him, her eyes wide. "We would not have made it without you," she said softly. Her voice held gratitude, but also a quiet pride. She had learned that courage was not about being fearless. It was about keeping hope and helping those you care about. The boy nodded silently. He hugged his sister tightly. Adam smiled, feeling the strength of their bond. In the forest, trust and care had saved their lives. Outside, the storm had eased completely. Snow still covered the trees and ground, but the wind was gone. The forest looked calm and still, almost like it had never been dangerous. Adam knew this peace was temporary. Nature could change in an instant. But for now, it was safe enough to move. The ranger team arrived shortly after. They brought extra blankets, warm clothes, and food. Adam briefed them on the situation, explaining where the children had been found and the conditions of the storm. The team nodded and praised Adam's quick thinking and bravery. They all understood that the children might not have survived without his immediate action. Maya and her brother were given extra blankets and food. The rangers reassured them that they would be taken to safety. Adam stayed close, watching carefully. He knew that even after rescue, children could feel scared and overwhelmed. They needed guidance and comfort until they reached home. As they prepared to leave, Maya held Adam's hand. "Thank you," she said, her voice soft but firm. "You saved us. You kept us safe." Adam knelt down to meet her eyes. "You saved each other too," he said. "Your courage helped your brother survive. Never forget that." The boy smiled faintly and nodded. Adam felt proud of them both. They had endured a storm, a frozen forest, and fear that would have overwhelmed most adults. And yet, they had survived. The ranger team led the children carefully down a cleared path toward the main road. Adam followed, keeping a watchful eye on them. The snow reflected sunlight, making the world bright and sharp. The forest still looked silent, but now it felt safe. The danger of the night had passed. During the walk, Maya spoke softly. "Do you think the tent will be found again?" Adam thought for a moment. "The tent might stay buried under the snow for some time," he said. "But it does not matter now. You and your brother are safe. That is what counts." The boy held his sister's hand tightly. "I just want to go home," he whispered. Adam smiled. "You will," he said. "Very soon." As they reached the main road, a family vehicle appeared. The children's parents had been informed about the situation and rushed to the park as soon as they could. Maya and her brother saw the car and ran toward it, tears in their eyes. Their parents hugged them tightly. Relief and gratitude filled the air. Adam watched quietly, feeling a deep satisfaction. The children were safe, reunited with their family, and finally out of danger. One of the rangers spoke to Adam. "You did an amazing job. You saved them when every moment counted. You followed your instincts and acted with courage." Adam nodded. He felt tired, but he knew the children's safety was worth every step through the snow. "It was teamwork," he said quietly. "They helped each other too." The parents thanked Adam repeatedly. Their voices trembled with emotion. They had feared the worst, but Adam's quick thinking and bravery had prevented tragedy. The children had survived because someone cared enough to act without hesitation. Adam watched as the family drove away, the children safe and smiling. For a moment, the forest was completely silent again. The storm had left behind only snow and calm. Adam felt a quiet pride. He had faced danger and uncertainty, but he had kept the children alive. He thought about the night in the forest, the tent buried under snow, and the decisions he had made. The rules of the park were important, but sometimes survival required breaking rules for the right reason. Protecting life came first. That was a lesson he would never forget. Adam began walking back toward the ranger station. The forest was still beautiful, but he noticed how quickly it could become dangerous. He checked the paths, looking for any signs of trouble. His job was not finished. Rangers had to ensure that the park remained safe for everyone. As he walked, Adam reflected on courage and trust. Children had survived because they had believed in each other and trusted him. Nature could be harsh and unforgiving, but careful thinking, bravery, and care could overcome even the worst storms. Back at the ranger station, Adam recorded the events of the night. He detailed the rescue, the children's condition, and the hidden dangers in the forest. His report would help prevent accidents in the future and guide other rangers during storms. Hours later, Adam finally sat down, exhausted but relieved. He had faced the frozen forest, the storm, and fear itself. And he had succeeded. The children were safe. The night had tested him in ways he would never forget. He looked outside at the snow-covered trees. The forest was quiet and still, but life continued. Animals would emerge. The wind would blow again. Storms would return. But today, he had made a difference. Adam knew that every ranger faced challenges, but few had experienced a night like this. He had discovered the power of quick thinking, courage, and trust. He had seen children survive against the odds, and he had helped make it possible. The children's faces stayed in his mind. Their courage and love for each other had inspired him. He realized that survival was more than skill. It was also heart. It was about hope, care, and never giving up. The sun rose higher, melting some of the snow and bringing light to the forest. Adam took a deep breath. Today, life had won over the storm. Today, he had saved lives and seen hope survive.